Vladimir Putin has just arrived. Vladimir, and he is speaking. We see if there is an English translation to his Russian speech.
Сенаторы Российской Федерации. Вы знаете, в Донецкой и Луганской народных республиках, Запорожской и Херсонской областях состоялись референдумы. Их итоги подведены, результаты известны. Люди свой выбор сделали. Однозначный выбор. Сегодня мы подписываем договоры о принятии в состав России Донецкой Народной Республики, Луганской Народной Республики, Запорожской области и Херсонской области. Уверен, что Федеральное собрание поддержит Конституцию
Donetsk and Luhansk People's Republic, Zaporozhye region and Kherson region. I'm sure that our legislative body will approve accepting the 4 new subjects of the Russian Federation because it is a will of millions of people. And it is, of course, their right. This is their right, which is in the first article of the UN statute, which says about the definition of peoples. It is founded on the historical unity of generations of our peoples, those who during centuries was building and defending Russia. Suvorov, Rumyantsev and Ushakov were fighting our grandfathers and great-grandfathers were fighting during the Great Patriotic War. We will always remember those who did not put up in 2014, who died for their right to speak their language, for the right of preserve their culture, to live. The fighters of Donbass and of Khatyn, those mercenaries, civilians, Ukrainians, Russians, peoples of different nationalities. Alexander Zakharchenko, leader of Donetsk, and Olga Kachur, Alexei Mozgovoy, prosecutor of Lugansk, Gorenko, Nurmagomedov, and all our military who died during the special military operation. They are heroes. Heroes of Great Russia, and I ask you to honor their memory with a minute of silence. Thank you.
Has been made by Vladimir Putin, where Luhansk and Donetsk, formerly now part of Russia, is the announcement, and Kherson and Zaporizhia have been declared independent regions. Swasti Rao, what does this imply? Ambassador Sajanhar is also with us. Ambassador Sajanhar, what does this imply? There are two points of view. There are 2 points of view here. One is the Russia point of view. One is the NATO and the West point of view. The nation that's been destroyed, disrupted, not just buried under debris, but also now debt, huge amounts of debt, is Ukraine.
So, Anand, I think there is a Russian point of view, definitely. And the other point of view is not a Western and American point of view. I think that is a point of view that is shared by a large majority of the world. What Mr. Putin is saying is violation of UN principles, UN Charter, which speak about respecting the territorial integrity and sovereignty of countries. This is a total violation of the UN principles. The UN Secretary General has spoken against it. I have mentioned a large number of countries which are purported to be very good friends and allies and partners of Russia. As I mentioned, even countries like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan. Kazakhstan is a member of the CSTO. It's a member of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. It's a member of the Eurasian Economic Union, which is a Russia-led organization. All these countries, none of these countries is going to agree to what Mr. Putin has done. I think, let's face it, there are about 23-24% people of Russian origin in Kazakhstan. And there have been statements that have been made in Russia by no less person than Dmitry Medvedev, who's been the former president and prime minister. And he has said that Kazakhstan is an artificial state. And this is the similar sort of comment that was made by Mr. Putin as far as Ukraine is concerned. Now, these countries are definitely not going to agree with what Mr. Putin has done. What it's going to do, it is further turmoil, further turbulence, further insecurity, further uncertainty. And Mr. Putin has said it's not a bluff.
We are seeing, Ambassador Sajanhar, we are seeing, would you agree, disagree that we are not looking at, we are looking at the effect. Nobody condones what Mr. Vladimir Putin has done or President Putin has done. But the fact is that he has turned around and told these nations that I am going to do whatever it is, and that's what he sold to his own constituency, that I am doing it to protect the sovereign interest of Russia. That's why I said there is a Russia point of view. Yes, the worldview may differ from Russia at this point, but the cause is not Vladimir Putin on American soil or in the Pacific close to America or in Cuba. When Russia moved into Cuba to work with Cuba, America threatened the Monroe Act and also threatened nuclear strikes. You remember this. This is documented. Vladimir Putin's position is, what is Vladimir Putin's position? His position is that what is NATO doing in my backyard? Why is NATO still existing when there is no Warsaw? What is this strategic security partnership that America signed with Ukraine on the 10th of November 2021, after which Putin said that I am left with no other option but to move into it militarily. Now, it's all gone down south and not according to Mr. Putin's plan or anybody else's plan. A nation's been destroyed. Its maps been redrawn. Its land has been annexed or grabbed, as US calls it. But there is a cause to it. What caused it has to be the question.
No, you are very right, Anand, when you say this. When you mention Cuba, you know, it was no attack was launched, a threat was made. And I think similarly, if there had been sort of, that sort of a threat, there had been some negotiations, a mutually acceptable solution. But, here for Mr. Putin to say, and I think much of the world believes that there was an existential threat to Russia. Russia, which has a total area of 17.9 million square kilometers, it is more than double the size of the United States or of China. I don't think Russia ever faced any existential threat. There might have been sort of, some war here and there, some skirmishes,
The biggest significance, Ambassador Sajanhar, is that their window to the world, that means via sea trade or warm water access, was the Black Sea and the Sea of Azov. And did that strategic partnership or that agreement between America and Ukraine threaten Russia's access to the warm waters? These are the only two warm water accesses they have outside of the Pacific, on the far-flung corner there near Vladivostok. But in this part of Russia, the Central Asian part of Russia, did not have any access to warm water. There are multiple angles to it and aspects to it. We'll discuss this more at length. I've run out of time at this point here on The Nation at 5. Ambassador Sajanhar.